This is Elliot Wave Sage. I want to do a quick market update, and like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. So the market really is behaving a little bit erratically. I do think the reason for this, that whipsaw price action has to do with the short-term stochastics really needing to be reset, and they're slowly doing that, so we can push lower. So here's the Dow Jones. Here you have this nice ABC, the finish 2. So this could push us down for more downside today. Want to see that push lower. So there's this count. This is a more aggressive count here based on RSI analysis. If you use classical Elliott wave theory, you would probably get something a little different. You can use 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll get a fifth wave. So a lot of Elliott wave, technicians would probably say we're in a fifth wave here. We'll break this low and then rebound all the way back up to 34,288 between the 2 and the 4. I can't say that that's not going to happen, but if you look at our RSI cycle analysis, you could see this pump here was so strong, it really reset the entire cycle, and you have divergence here at the low. So I think this will fool a lot of people trying to buy the dip in the Dow, and we actually could be going into a 3-3 moment on the downside. So I would be really careful, but there's still a chance it could be 5. And if it's 5, it should be bought up pretty quickly, and then we should see a multi-week relief rally, only to fail again later toward the end of the year, or maybe even early 24. So there we go. This is the wave 5 target, and we would be looking for a grind all the way back up to here, 34,000. So do what's best for you. The next target is 31,002 for this wave, for the wave 3 here. So that's kind of the setup for the Dow Jones. And like I said, 45-minute looks like it's complete. There is still a chance it could be in 2. We could continue the pump. So just don't know, but it does look 3 waves and looks like it wants to go lower. The SPY, again, so we pushed up in 3 waves. Clearly this was a 2 wave, correcting the whole cycle. Now we're done, and we're up on the downtrend line. We found sellers. We're finding sellers this morning, and we'll push lower. I said this will be a critical area. And again, could it be 5 waves? It can, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get that 5th wave at 414.5, and we come all the way back up to 440, 441. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. But looking at the setup, looking at where this 2 is, it may have enough people trapped to get through this resistance. And once we do, we could have some waterfall selling down to 384. Triple Qs, same thing here, 1, 2, and then 3, 4 divergence. So this is another 1, 2, and this should be heading down. Now, if we look at the triple Qs, there's still possibility that we make another high, push higher in this 2 wave. But this short leg here, and this could be a connector, so it could be there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that. So got to keep an open mind. But ultimately, we're going lower. And as you know, tech earnings are out for a couple. Google didn't work out so well for people. A lot of denial. Still people trying to justify the miss. And they want to buy it for whatever reason. But anyway, do what's best for you. And then the Russell Index, again, looking at this too here. And again, this is our October lows, and it looks pretty safe to say we're going to break that. And when we break it, it could create a lot of algorithmic selling, stop outs, panic, and that could infect the rest of the stock market. I think when these technicals break. So I know it's hard to believe we're here, but I mean it was hard to believe that this would happen. Up here, and it kept saying about short opportunities, and we got those, and we got another one here, essentially straight down. So the market is under pressure. The bears are in control. Reallys are to be shorted, and for the indices. And yeah, at some point the daily cycle will need the reset, and then you'll get a better opportunity for a long trade. Where are we with that? Looks like we had this little false breakout. I think that was here, and we're back in. So if we could come back out, then that would be like a wave 5. That would confirm that this is actually 5 waves down, and then we would rip higher to 440. So keep an eye on that. But if we start to turn lower and break this here, then it looks like we are in a 303 moment. And as you see, the daily cycle still has more room to go lower here. Let's take a look at the weekly cycle. As you see, the weekly cycle is pretty much ready for a relief rally. If you look at it, it could still go a little bit lower, but it looks like it's ready for a relief rally. The daily cycle looks like it could go lower. So I think, so I think looking at this, I believe this is the count, but I do think, you have to pay attention to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count, and then we relief rally up. So just keep that in mind. But the weekly cycle looks, although here you could see we have stayed, for a couple months. We have it can hang out here, and we still are not. We're still below the trend line. So as you can see, the bears are still in control of the weekly and daily cycles. The 4-hour cycle, clearly bears are still in control of that cycle here. And 45-minute looks like that got the reset. Hidden bearish divergence is what I see. I see a lot of squigglies. We're starting to get those. That was a top. Same thing. So anyway, do what's best for you. Do think we'll be going lower. China, I think, indicated it's going to try its hand at some stimulus, money printing. I thought that would pump the markets more. It back tested the trend line and got rejected. Maybe too little, too late. Bitcoin is in the sell area. I was looking at, we had some people post a bear flag type of look here. So I went ahead and drew those lines, and sure enough, we hit that line on this line and got rejected. And then I kind of connected as many wicks as I could, and I drew this black line, and that happens to be where it also got rejected. So it seems like this is a lot of resistance here. For this pump, it's still in the flat area, the warning sign. As you know, there was news. It was on the ticker. Bitcoin ETF was on a ticker that for the SEC. Then ironically, just disappeared. And now, and then market closed. Oh, and it appeared again. So, I mean, somebody I think is playing games. Big trap. This is just my opinion, but do what's best for you. I do think this has a chance to just drop back right where it started at some point, and we get this C wave here. But do what's best for you. The target would now be, let's get a new target for the flat right here. Okay. Well, oil, I'm warned about the wedge breakdown. We got it. This is deflationary. It's bearish. And looks like to me we're in a 5, so this impulse should be pushing higher. But I think once we break 81, that sets us up for 73. Gold and silver. Gold really needs to come back and recapture this peak, and silver too. Until then, it's just it's in its next leg lower. Dollar index, changed the label in a little bit here, and You know, I looking at it, yeah, this is it's a complex correction. It looks like an impulse down here. So if this is a connector here, this could be another impulse. So perhaps, looking at what happened yesterday, we're back to kind of like this WXY correction. But once we take out 106.8, then it should be the next leg higher will start. And like I said, I'm looking for something like this, if I can get it. Like that. So do what's best for you. So the 10-year is finding support on the back test. It can't seem to get back. And this could be, again, major resistance, now flip support. So many people trying to, bottom tick bonds or top tick rates. I think all those people are going to learn the power of Elliott waves firsthand. And I think it's dangerous playing that game. And I do think typically at market bottoms, if this is a market bottom in bonds, nobody wants to touch it. And I hear everybody wants to touch it. So to me, that means we actually haven't capitulated yet, as amazing as that sounds. So that means we should, that's why I wouldn't be surprised to see this 3 of 3 price action in bonds. Just be careful if you're trying to buy the TLT, thinking it's a good purchase here. If we can go back under this resistance, then the labeling here would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll come back down to 4, 4, and then we should launch again. So we'll see how that plays out. And again here, 30-year gave that trade here straight up, pulling back in 4. We should get this 5. And again, this is going to grind higher, the rates. So VIX broke down here. So this could be a clue that if we make that lower low in the indices, that we're in a wave 5 and not a wave 3 of 3. Keep an eye on that. The next target for the VIX to bounce would be at 1785 here. If we do bounce now, I would just be careful that you don't get something like, something like this, something like that. So that's significant, and that is, to me, breaks out, false breakout, and now the short-term stochastics have to reload. And mention that. We mentioned that the VIX was going to didn't have the 15 and 45 on its side, but now it's starting to again. Let's take a look. 15, 45 on its side. 4 hour is resetting too. So the VIX is resetting for 3 of 3 out. That's what this is doing. It's resetting. It's like a spring being recoiled for that moment. Just get ready. And like I said, this is a 5 swing move. I think from what my guess is we could see a bounce and then another low later, and then this comes later. But once we're above 20, then we could be in the 3 of 3. I would be bullish at VIX. Below 19.6, I would be bearish the VIX. And if you're bearish the VIX, that means you're bullish the indices, which is why I mentioned tech could still bounce higher in 2 for a little more upside today. And then when the VIX resets, then you get the move down. All right. That's how I look at the market, guys. Let's just kind of click through some things. Tech, Apple, again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Seems like it's still grinding lower, but it could be 3 waves. We could still be in 2. I don't like trading Apple. Amazon, I think, like Google, you got to be careful with tomorrow. or today, or whenever their earnings, yeah, Thursday. Google opening at 130. Here's our buy area at 124, 122 for the flat pattern. Play out in the flat pattern is this. And it could go lower. It could go lower. Here's our wave 4. Here's our gaps. This would be the right area to target it. And if we do break 118, 116, then you got to be careful. You could have a much different formation, and it could be much more bearish than we thought. But if you really are so enamored with Google and you must own it, this would be the area to buy it for a relief rally or potentially another move higher. Facebook's also in the flat situation, I believe. And Netflix, looking for this connector to fail and go lower. Tesla, here's my count on Tesla now. I'm looking at a real choppy correction. So we should see a bounce and another failure to finish this 3. And then we should get a much bigger push in 4 and 5. Something. This is what I'm thinking, but it's total speculation. When I'm thinking with Tesla. So just do what's best for you. This does look like it has more downside though to 180. And Nvidia, short area, could have a free fall sell in any moment. Microsoft told you about this pump. Short area 347, 352. AMD on the trend line, very important. Technical break about to occur for more downside. All right, some other stocks. Just hey, what's else on the shopping list? IONQ, looking at it for $8. Palantir, would like it at $11.95. And Shopify will like that. Now we formed a new connector, like that at 36. Wayfair, I like that at 37. And so let's see, DraftKings, like that at 23.21. Oh, Okta, like that at 60.54. Snowflake, like it at 90. Enphase, 75.60. Get in there. For solar, won't buy it until TAN reaches 22. Okay, then commodity stocks. We saw CVX do this acquisition. The market didn't like it, but Elliott Waves predicted where we were heading, like it at 120, 116. XLE should be about to break down too. XOM should be breaking down into the 80s. Schlumberger pulling back on this impulse. We'll see if it can hold 54. We'll take a look at that. OIH, again, back test breakout, bounced. We'll see if it can hold 317. GDX, short area, just missed it. Should be going lower. And that's all I've got right now to show for individual stocks. So anyway, so market has a couple possibilities. Like I said, it could either be this bearish setup and this 1-2, 1-2, or it can be a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had a massive rally, but that rally will fail ultimately. But the rally should be multi-week, which means you could play it alongside more than likely if you want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The target would be around this area for that long trade to 440 here. If we get that 5-wave move, the clues we're in 5 waves is a red VIX, a VIX below 20, 19 or below 19.6, rates not surging higher, maybe going lower. Those would be the clues that I would look for. But do what's best for you. We are geared up on this third wave to break through that, though, given that we bounced so soon. See, and that puts us at 404, 399, 392 for wave 3. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Good luck trading today.